Hey, Neek, do you know what Marvin Barnes once said when he was supposed to get on a plane from Louisville to St. Louis, and
No,
it arrived at a time before it took off?
probably said, what the fuck? No, what he say?
He said, "I ain't getting in that shit. I ain't getting no damn time machine. I'll just rent a car."
Now you're more fluent.
Up, Bears. So this is really good right here. Absolutely. Let's do it.
I'm weak.
Now you realize if you fly from like L.A. to Hawaii, you're going back in time, or if you fly from New York to L.A., you're going back in time.
Yeah, and then the time machine that we're most familiar with actually is a car. So there you have it. Maybe he wasn't that safe in an automobile like he thought.
Maybe he wasn't. You want to get into this day in NBA history?
Yeah, let's do it.
This day in NBA history, June 4th, 1976. Forgot the intro again. What's up, y'all? It is June 4th, 2024. We're the HoopStorians. I'm Tony Styles. He's unique. We're going to get to this day in NBA history. This day in NBA history, June 4th, 1976. Often touted as the greatest finals game of all time. Boston JoJo White scores 33 points as the Celtics beat the Suns 128-126 in triple overtime. Meek, if that ain't the greatest finals game of all time, what are some of the other contenders?
For the greatest finals game of all time, I guess it really depends on
Your greatest list.
my greatest list. I never made a list. I like the Bulls and the Jazz 98. I like that finals game. Even the Bulls and the Suns 93.
Triple overtime, that one?
Let me think. What else? I don't know. Like I don't really have no favorite finals game like that.
Just what you think the greatest finals game is, because I remember, to me, I always argued that Suns, and maybe it's because I saw it. Obviously, I wasn't born when the 76 one happened, but that 93 one, that triple overtime between Jordan and Barkley, looked like the Suns were done, down 0-2. Bulls are trying to crush their spirits. Barkley had the bad elbow. They came back and won in old Chicago Stadium. To me, I just think that's the greatest finals game ever that I witnessed. I can put it that way.
Yeah, I wasn't rocking with the Suns, so I didn't like it much.
Well, that's okay. I mean, even if they lost, I got to go with the triple overtime that the Celtics beat the Suns. Still one of the greatest, even though the Suns lost. That's just the way it goes.
That's
fair. Well, that was this day in NBA history. Hold on one second. Sorry, our guest coach. I was gonna say our guest Coach Severns having problems logging on, so I was texting him right now. So let's see if we can get him on before we kick off this finals preview. But before we do, what do you think of the conference finals?
Man, so the conference finals, I expected Indiana to get mopped, so that goes without saying. Unfortunately for them. So as far as the Western Conference, though, I wanted Dallas to win. I expected Dallas to win, but I also wanted to see Minnesota get a little further. I feel like Ant-Man might have bitten off more than he could chew, or maybe just mentally he wasn't prepared for what it really took to beat a team that's trying to get to the finals. He thought that he was ready until he got there. He showed signs, he did show signs, but at the same time, he had too many bad games, and you see where that led them. They pretty much just got smacked around. And then Luka's on a whole nother level right now. Luka's playing like he got a point to prove. He's playing like it don't matter if he has hope or not, which he's definitely going to need that moving forward, but he's playing like he don't even care. Like Luka's like basically like get on the train to get left. That's kind of how he's playing right now, and it's like nobody can really stop him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though it went for the most part the way I expected. Like I said, I expected Dallas to win. I wanted to see more from Minnesota as far as them staying composed, them staying competitive, but I still definitely expected them to lose. I expected the leadership of Luka and Kyrie to like really take them forward. Like I get that's only two people, but at the same time, when you consider the talent that is Luka, and then also all of the experience Kyrie has, matched with his skill as well, like that's gonna get them pretty far. So they did what I expected them to do.
And then, I mean, were you impressed with the Celtics winning in a sweep? Because even though that they kept giving up some, or like, you know, did you expect a sweep? Did you expect them to lose one? Like, tell me where you were at your level of impressedness with Celtics.
I'm not impressed by the sweep with the Celtics. However, Indiana, I wouldn't have been surprised if Indiana ended up winning a game or two. But the way that the Celtics have been dominating all season, it wouldn't have been a shock that they would have. It wouldn't have been no shock that they would have tried to get Indiana knocked out as quickly as they did. And then Indiana had stuff going on with their health as well anyway. So, and none of the players, unfortunately.
Have you seen the meme yet, or the video where it shows Tyrese Halliburton playing exactly like Urkel used to ball on Family Matters?
And ironically, his voices is different like Stefan and Steve as well. That's crazy. Halliburton is the Urkel of the league.
What's up, Coach?
Fellas, how you doing?
How you doing,
I'm
Coach?
doing good.
Good.
Doing good. How about you? Hey, Coach, real quick, before we get into our finals preview, I got a question to ask you. How much do you guys, when you guys are in the coaching staff, how much do you guys value analytics and like advanced stats?
A lot.
A lot? Okay, so if I told you there's a top 10 player, a general consensus top 10 player, he's not in the top 10 in one single advanced stats out of the 20, 21 there are, and in half of them he's outside the top 250. Would you say he's a top 10 player then?
Probably not.
That's Kobe Bryant. And I just can't find any numbers to back him up as a top 10 player. And I've been on this deep search.
You know what I find, what convinces me that he's a top 10 player?
What's that?
My eyes.
So that's when the eye test when the stats don't matter?
It's hard to explain what you see, bro. It's sometimes it's really hard to explain. Sometimes you can watch something and just know. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I get your argument that Kobe took bad shots, but at the same time, watching them games, it kind of felt like he had to take some of those shots that he was taking compared to who else was on his team. And if Tony, they missed.
Tony, let me ask you this: did you find an analytics somewhere, advanced analytics, that measures a guy's competitive spirit?
No, but I have him at 11th, and everybody I have over him, I don't think someone like you, for example.
Wait. When you say 11th, what does that mean? 11th of all the NBA players ever?
Yeah, 11th of all time ever.
Yeah, I could see that.
Right, that's what I'm saying, because I do a pretty honest ranking based off things, and the guys I have over him, nobody's going to say, if you really know basketball, nobody's going to say you're nuts for having this guy over Kobe Bryant.
No, and that that's an argument we could have, for years about top 10 players, top 50 players.
Mm-hmm.
If your advanced stats say he's 11th player overall ever, yeah, I can see that.
No. It's not even that. The advanced stats say he's way worse than that, but just that since he's an MVP and he still was the best player on 2 titles, you know what I mean? I can't elevate other guys that were the best player on 1 title team over a guy like Kobe, who's the best player. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to win, right? So I don't care what the numbers say if you win.
Hey, Tony, you know what?
What's up?
You got way too much time on your hands, man.
It's how I enjoy spending my time.
That's fair.
So it's not a waste if I enjoy it. Let's get into the finals preview. First off, I wanted to know, because we didn't get a chance to see, what did you think out of Dallas and Boston in the conference finals? What was your assessment after what you saw in the conference finals?
Boston didn't surprise me at all. I mean, I thought that was going to be an easy series for them, and it was. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The Dallas series surprised me that they won it so easily. I think they exposed some things on Minnesota that Minnesota has to address in the offseason. But I think the Dallas series, I don't think very few people predicted a 5-game series in Dallas's favor.
I did. I thought the Timberwolves were going to win.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought the Timberwolves would win in about 6. I mean, I was way off. Nick over here, he did predict Mavericks in 6, so he was off by a game. Before we get into that, I was going to ask you, what are some of the glaring weaknesses you see with the Timberwolves that they should address?
I think they need to improve their point guard play, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I love Mike Conley, but I think they need to be better there. I think they need to get more scoring out of their point guard position. I think they'll look to do that. And to be honest with you, I would trade one of the bigs. And it's hard to trade Cat's contract. It's going to be really tough. But I would try to trade his contract and start Naz Reid. And maybe get get another point guard and maybe another wing scorer.
Why would you want to keep Gobert over Towns, though?
Because I think Naz Reid can do what Towns does, and maybe better, eventually. But he can't do what Gobert does.
Well, I will say this: when Towns fouled out in Game 7, I was saying this on the pod last week. Minutes 6 through 3, or whatever that 3-minute stretch was with Naz Reid, he played as good as anybody ever in a 3-minute stretch. And I mean that, ever. He had a 3-minute stretch that was unbelievable. No, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocked shots, 2 assists in 3 minutes. Unbelievable. In a pressure-packed game on the road, and he was doing it against Jokic, an MVP, best player in the world. As good as 3 minutes ever. I was so impressed when I saw it.
No, he's a good player, and to be an undrafted, that's a great pickup. He was undrafted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, it's unbelievable. And he did it with over a 46 pick in Jokic, which is obviously higher than undrafted.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Okay, so let's get into it. First off, just right off the top, do you got a prediction? Celtics or Timberwolves? I mean,
I
Celtics
do.
or Mavs? Okay, who you got?
I do. I think Boston's going to win in 5.
What about why 5 after we've seen the Mavs take off, the Clippers who are going for a title, the number 1 seed, and then another team that knocked off the champs? They've been hot. Nobody's took them, past 6? Why are you saying Celtics in 5?
Because they have 5 of the best 7 players in the series.
I'm with you on that. I was saying that I think the Mavs have the first best player. I think the Celtics have the second and third best player. Then I think the Mavs have the 4th best player, and then I think the next 5 best players are on the Celtics.
It's ugly. It's ugly compared to the arsenal that Boston has and what the Mavericks are working with offensively. Because no matter what you do defensively, if you're outscoring, you're outscoring. And I don't think that Dallas is going to be able to score enough to compete with Boston, especially not if Boston gets hot. That's just too many players coming at you that can get hot on Boston's team.
Yeah.
No, and then I think too. Let's talk about scoring. Do you think Boston can score enough to keep up with the Mavs can score enough to keep up with the Celtics?
Well, their 2 guards will. Those 2 guys are going to get you about 60. That's just the way it's going to be, between 50 and 60.
Yeah.
The question is, can those other guys score enough?
That's what I'm asking. Do you think they can pick up enough slack?
I don't think so. That's why I picked Boston in 5.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see a roadmap, and I'm sorry if it's not, and I could be wrong because I didn't see it for a conference finals win either. But I just don't see a roadmap where PJ Washington at 14 points a game as your 3rd leading scorer leads to a title.
Yeah, you know what the roadmap is for Dallas?
What's that?
Tatum or Brown gets hurt.
Well, we never wish for that, so that's a no-go. Yeah, I just don't know because I see Jones. Jones is playing out of his mind for Derek Jones Jr., but that's 10 points a game. You know what I mean? That's an out of his mind. Plus 40% from 3, 49 from the field. He's playing unbelievable. That's elevated him to 10 points a game.
Yeah, and if you followed his career, he's always been a very much below average 3-point shooter, and
Right.
he's flipping them in there at a pretty good rate, and I don't think that can continue.
No, I didn't either, but it reminds me of '09 with Ariza. I don't know if you remember that playoff run. Ariza just kept making them all playoffs.
Yeah, I saw Trevor last week. Talked to him for a little while.
Yeah, but that '09 run where he just taking threes, it just every round, and like I just kept waiting for it to fall off, and it never did. So maybe it can't. Then you got Gafford. Gafford's elevated his play. He's up to 9 points a game at 61%. So that's elevated Gafford. 9 points a game, 61%. Lively, 9 points a game, 67%. Elevated his game. But then when you just look at, like, you got Tatum in the playoffs, right? 26, 6, and 10, right? That's on par with Luka's 29, 9, and 10. A little bit less, but it's on par. Then you got Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's outdoing Kyrie this year. He's 25, 6 on 54% shooting. Kyrie's 23 and 5 on 49. So that kind of cancels.
You got all these numbers.
Don't you like it?
Yeah,
don't you like
all
it?
The numbers. But so, what's your prediction?
I got to go with the Celtics. To me, just straight up throughout the game, the Celtics were by far the best looking team all year long. By far,
have been.
They
have been.
Right.
Look, they've been the best team since October.
And no doubt.
Other than the Porzingis injury, which didn't affect them that much, they've been pretty much healthy.
No, they have. And then the only team that I said I thought could stop the Celtics, and I was giving them respect because they won it, was Denver. But now that Denver's out, there's no team that I think can stop them.
No,
you know what I mean? No. Then you got Derek White in the postseason. He's elevated his game up. He's up to 18 a game on 47% shooting. You know what I mean? Kristaps actually has been the worst player in the playoffs, but he's been in and out with injuries. He's only at 12 points at 39%. Holiday's at 13 at 49. Horford's at 10 points at 47 with 7 boards, in about 30 minutes a game. And not only that, I think Horford's a winning player. I think that's one where the eye test tells more than what the numbers do. I think the teams are always better with Horford on the floor than without, unless you're the Philadelphia 76ers. Other than that, I'd say you're always better with Horford and all that. So, yeah, I just don't. So you're saying barring injury, you don't see any way the Mavs win?
No. Hey, Tony, what are you, in a casino or something? What's that in the background?
So I'm out of
video games?
No, so I'm out. So I'm out of town working. And my hotel doesn't have any Wi-Fi in the room, only on the floor. So I have to come out here with my phone, and it turns into a tablet, and I have to shoot the show from here.
So you're in a casino?
I'm in a casino. I'm on a casino floor right now. Yes.
Face to temptation.
Well, go place your bet for the Celtics.
Yeah. Well, I definitely would. But
what? How many games?
Me?
Yeah.
I'll go 6.
6.
I'll go 6. I'll tell you what's really weird about the finals. If you look at the finals, generally speaking, there's 4 options, 4, 5, or 6 or 7. They pretty much always go 6. A safe bet in the finals is always 6. I think it's like about 50% of the time they end in 6, and 50% of the time they end in the other 3 options. So, I tend to stay in 6 unless I just see an outright just killer or whatever. You don't think any of the role players can elevate their game at all to get some more games off the Celtics, maybe win it? Just no roadmap other than an injury, Coach?
1 game maybe, but not more than that.
Well, now here's my other question. Where do we elevate if Jason Tatum, which we would assume would be the finals MVP, if he wins a championship, he's the best player on a title team, does that elevate him to top 5 over any of these guys like Embiid, Luka, anything like that, or no, in your opinion?
Well, give me your top 5 without him, and I'll tell you.
It would probably be, no order is Jokic, Giannis, Shea, Luka, Embiid.
He would be in the spot instead of Shea if he were to win a championship. Yeah.
What about Embiid? Embiid can't get past the second round.
Yeah, there'd be an argument for Embiid not being in the top 5 right now either. But Luka hasn't won either.
Right, so I was going to ask you that. If he beats Luka on the grandest stage of them all, then is there an argument for him over Luka? Or no?
No.
He's got a better team than Luka.
Luka's
No, he's
a bad
definitely
MF.
Luka is. He's been extremely inefficient this postseason run. But he really picked it up in the conference finals. I don't know his conference finals numbers off the top of my head, but I know going into the conference finals, he was like 42%, I think, on the playoffs, and now he's up to 44. So, in one series to elevate two series more, he was much more efficient in the last one.
He was going off in the last one. That's why. He was almost embarrassing them. And he on the sideline talking stuff the whole time.
No, yeah, I mean, he was definitely talking stuff and all that. So, if you're the Celtics, let's just say for the sake of argument, if you're the Celtics and you lose this series, do you blow this up? Do you bring it back?
No, of course not. No. Well, I mean, what do you mean blow it up?
What I mean by that,
rid of people?
You got those guys under contract. You got a good coach. They would tweak it. They would try to tweak the roster, but they're not going to blow it up. Brad Stevens is a really smart guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not going to blow that team up should they fall short. There's no way.
I guess what I'm asking is well now you're in the what? So they made the conference finals with the main two guys in 17, 18,
22.
22, 20, and now 20. So wait, they made it last year too, right? When they were down. So 6-9. So you've made the conference finals 6 times.
Conference finals, yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you made the conference finals 6 times in like 8 years. You've made 2 finals. You haven't won a title. You don't think Jaylen Brown's on the chopping block or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Have you seen his contract?
Oh, his contract. They're all huge though. Every contract's huge.
Who's trading for that contract?
I don't know. I'd say somebody.
Nobody.
Every year we see somebody. Hey,
No.
last year they were asking who was trading for Bradley Beal's contract, and we found someone.
Yeah. Jalen's going to be there. Jason's going to be there. Holiday's going to be there. They're all going to be there.
I got you. And then Dallas, if they lose, what do you do with that roster? If you're in the management, what do you do with that?
Those guys are all locked up. They're not going to make any changes either. They got all those guys under contract, I think, for at least two or three more years, and some of those guys 4 years. So
we're pretty much set.
Yeah, those guys aren't going to make any major change. The teams you're going to see big roster moves probably are going to be like Atlanta, the Clippers, Phoenix. Those are teams that Golden State. Those are the teams that you might see a big rock. And when I say a big move, like a star player moving.
Well, there's a rumor right now that LeBron's going to join the Suns, and the Suns are going to draft Bronny.
No, LeBron's going to be with the Lakers. That's nonsense.
Till he retires.
I mean,
I don't know if
how much longer he going to play?
He's going to be there. He's going to be there next year.
Well, they just had the rumor out. I just wanted to know what you thought about that because I was going to say no chance.
Nope.
How would you feel about that as a Suns fan?
I don't know. We need defense. We don't need what LeBron brings, and LeBron don't bring defense anymore.
Okay, say you put LeBron on that team, who are you getting rid of?
I guess Beal.
For LeBron, you got to get rid of a lot of people. Bill ain't gonna be enough.
Royce O'Neal. I don't know. It's just that because do you think Bronny's going to play in the league?
No.
I don't think so.
You don't think he's going to because Bron said he would sign with somebody. You don't think somebody would sign him just to get LeBron on their team? LeBron even said he'd sign for the minimum.
They may sign him, but he's going to be in the G League.
Do you see any path to where he's an NBA player?
No.
Overseas?
He's a 6'1" wing player. You know how many of those guys there are?
Avery Bradley's what, 6'2"?
Yeah.
So we got Avery Bradley as the model. Is that his ceiling?
Why is Avery Bradley the model? Avery Bradley was an elite perimeter defender. That's what got him in games. Is that what's going to get Bronny into games because he's an elite perimeter defender?
No. What I meant by that is if Bronny wants to make it in the league, he needs to model his game after Avery Bradley, a short, elite wing defender. But I don't know if he had because Avery Bradley had arms for days. I don't know what Bronny's wingspan is.
But Bradley had a hell of a. You know what the craziest thing is in the NBA right now?
What's that?
we've spent the last week, because there's no games and, we're bored. We've spent the last week talking about Bronny James, Caitlin Clark, and the WNBA. I mean, come on. These games can't come fast enough for me.
I agree with you.
I'm tired of talking about Bronny and is he going to do this and that and Caitlin Clark and the hip check, and I'm done with that stuff. Let's start some games.
Okay, hey, wait. I want to ask you this: Do you think this draft is as bad as they're saying it is?
Yes.
Like the number one pick is like normally an 8th or 9th pick.
Yes, it is, and I would not be surprised if Atlanta packaged that pick with a player and made a trade.
What do you think Atlanta's looking for?
They'd like to get rid of the little guy, I think, but I don't. That may
Trae
be tough.
Young?
Yeah, but
Well, I keep hearing these rumors. I keep hearing these rumors to the Spurs. Could you see Popovich wanting to coach him?
No.
So there's probably no Trae Young to the Pop. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's probably no Trae Young to the Spurs, is there?
Probably not, but I can see him getting moved. But again, his contract is so big, and he's so one-dimensional. It's hard to win with that guy.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny. The year after, I forget which Hawks player said it, but the year after they made the conference finals and they weren't doing very well, they're like, yeah, we're just bored with the season, I guess. We're just waiting for the playoffs. I'm like, you're supposed to win titles before you at least say that. Not one conference finals appearance and a loss. Where are some of the places you see Trae Young could be moved to?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked at it that closely, Tony. I don't know.
Where's here? What, the Suns?
Mm-hmm.
Who do they give up? Beal?
Yeah, of course. Yep. That could be a straight trade too. Trade Young for Bill.
I got you. Well, Coach, you said you got to get out of here, right? This is all the time you have? Okay, well, so I thank you for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Coach.
Okay,
thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. So what do you think about that? His predictions and all that?
About his predictions? I definitely see Boston winning. I think most people are picking Boston as the favorite. I get why he said in 5, and it might very well be 5. I'm thinking 6 like you.
Yeah, I just think 6 is the most comfortable pick anytime we can do it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the reason I'm picking 6 is because I think Luka's gonna have a few games where he go crazy, but I feel as though at least one of them games is gonna be crazy enough for him to win a victory. And then I think there's also gonna be a game where he does get some type of support from the bench. He does get some type of support from the rest of the team where they might be able to squeak past Boston. So Boston might slip up a game or two. But other than that, I don't see it. Like Boston got a deeper bench, and not only do they got a deeper bench, they got way more experience. You feel me? So they deeper and they got the experience. They're gonna match point for point with Dallas's bench. So, and then of course Porzingis, I know he ain't really been able to play much this season or this in the playoffs.
Postseason.
But with Porzingis, all they need from him really realistically is like 10. All they really need from him is like 10 to 15.
No, I agree with that. Keep going.
No, go ahead, my bad. I was gonna say let Jalen and Jason Harry handle most of the bulk of scoring, and then you got the Horfords, you got the Whites.
You got Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard's playing dope. Derek White, Drew Holiday.
Yeah. And then on top of that, Holiday and Horford, they specialists as far as like defense on top of that as well. So not only are they contributing there, but they're also going to be able to help some of them players not score, or they're going to disrupt some of their transitions. So I definitely feel as though Boston, like I said, I don't see how they're going to lose.
Yeah. So the way I was looking at it is, one of the things is I was saying, so like we went over the players or whatever, but how much better would you say Luka is than Jason Tatum? 10% better, 15% better? What are we talking here?
So I mean, I feel like he might be higher than 10% better than Tatum, but at the same time, I'm gonna leave it at 10 just because I don't want to disrespect Tatum like that.
I mean, we can say whatever number it. We can say whatever number it is, but basically, what I'm saying is he? Let's just say he's 10% better overall, right? The amount of scoring and stuff that they do and that they contribute to, that comes out to about, okay, so Luka's contributing 3 or 4 more points than Tatum, right? And then if you want to factor in assists, rebounds, I mean, we can pump it up to 4.5, 5 points, right? So then I'll tell you what, we'll say Brown and Irving is a wash. Then the next 8 players, are the next 8 players worth 5 points? Is Drew Holiday, Derek White, Porzingis, Horford, Pritchard, all those guys combined, are all those next guys worth 5 points, 6 points? Probably over what they have. So it's like where you have the definite advantage is you got a guy that's slightly better than their guy. And I don't think anybody would be surprised. Would you be surprised if Tatum outplayed Luka this series?
No. I mean, Tatum, he's an elite player, so you're never going to be surprised if Tatum outplays anybody in any series at this point in his career.
Right.
So there's that. So even going against a talent like Luka, it wouldn't be surprising because, like I said, Tatum is elite too. I feel as though Luka's a better player, but that's offensively. You feel me? Tatum,
no doubt.
He experiences, more win with his style of play than Luka does. Luka gets all of the accolades and stuff personally. Tatum gets more of the team success. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Tatum outplay him. I do think Luka's probably going to increase what we've seen him average, just like he was doing in the conference final. I think he's going to raise his percentage up a little bit more in the final.
He has to.
And that's the reason. And that's the reason I think he's going to, because he really doesn't have a choice if he wants to win. You feel me? If he's okay with getting swept, do what you're doing. But if you're not trying to get swept, he has no choice. Luka has to average to win against Boston. Luka probably has to average 35. He has to average a triple-double. He probably got to average 35, 10, and 10.
Well, we saw LeBron. What was his best? 33, 12, and 11. So you think he can outdo LeBron?
Yeah, I think he could. Again, this is an elite dude. When we're stepping into the realm of eliteness, nothing is off the table. You never know. I mean, Luka's how much did he drop this season? What was his high? I mean, even though it was a regular season game, what was his
70?
high?
70, and he dropped 70?
So that basically lets you know Luka if he can drop 70 in a regular season, how far-fetched is it for him to go off for 50 in the finals?
I mean, it's not far-fetched. Just the question is I think LeBron's the only person ever to average a triple, right? Double. So if, Luka's getting 35, 12, and 11, that's better than that triple-double we saw LeBron get. Now, do we think Luka's better than LeBron? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Do I think Luka right now is better than that LeBron? I don't know. I mean, that LeBron had experience, championships and stuff, though. So that's a little different. So I don't know. Talent-wise is there, though. You feel me? He may not be, but Luka's been playing his whole life, though. So it's hard to say.
The way I looked at the series is I'm going to give one game to the Mavs, for Kyrie and Luka or whoever getting hot. And I'm going to give one game to the Mavs also, because usually we see Boston do some bullshit.
Oh.
Normally they choke up down the stretch. They let teams back in. They play tight. Everything is a step back 3 and double coverage. They just F themselves, every series, except this last one. Like, it looked like they were going to, F themselves in game 1, and then they decided, let's just sweep.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree, because I do feel as though Dallas is going to win at least one legit game where they just outplay Boston. But I do feel as though there is going to be a game that slips away from Boston as well. How that's going to happen, I don't know. But I definitely feel as though a game is going to slip away from them, which is why I predicted the 6.
What is Jason Tatum? Jason Tatum's 25 and Brown is 26. If they win this title, right? But I'm saying if they win this title, is this the start of a dynasty?
Now that's hard to say. Here's the reason I say that. It should be. The reason it should be is because we're seeing them, at this point,
Two all-star
start
players
winning.
at 25, 26 and a DP.
You feel me? They start winning championships. They're more than likely about to go on one of them runs. They might not go on no Boston run, but they're definitely gonna go on a crazy run with that youth, that experience, and then now they've already reached the plateau. Now it's like, no, we got to defend it. So yeah, I can definitely see them winning more than is one if they win. Or once they win. So with that, it could be the start of a dynasty, but they've also been doing it for so long to where it's just like, and what I mean by that is they've been playing, as you see, they keep making it to the conference finals. They've been in contention for the past, 8 years? So it's like, though they're finally where they want to be, it's also like, are they at the point where they may start getting tired soon as well?
Hey, I got a question for you. Because I was hosting a live on TikTok and we got into this argument. So we all would agree 6 conference finals in 8 years and 2 finals teams is a really good run, right? You are either in the Final Four 6 out of the 8 years. You're one of the 4 best teams 6 out of the 8 years. Would you say that makes someone a great team? Because I'm saying that I'm not saying no team's great if they didn't win the title. Now you can be very good, but you can't be great.
Nah, I'm with you on that. In order for that to be considered great, you can't just be good. You feel me? Making it to these conferences, making it to the conference final, but never actually winning the conference final is not going to make you great. That's just going to make you good. Now, Boston, once they win a title, because of what we've seen them do, now we can start arguing, yeah, that's a great team. But as of now, a team that's not winning the conference finals, they're not great yet.
Well, I mean, they made it to the finals in 22, so they've won the conference finals. So now they got 2 conference final wins. You know what I mean? But are you with me? Like, I don't care if you make 20 finals in a row. If you don't win it, you ain't great.
Dang, to make it to 20? Yeah, I mean, to make it to 20
Let's
conference
just go with
finals
this. This was the example given. The Utah Jazz in that Karl Malone era was a great team. So they made multiple finals. They won conference finals. Would you say that makes somebody a great team? And that's why I'm correlating with the Celtics. Because I wouldn't say they're great yet till they win it.
Nah, they weren't a great team. They had a couple of great players, but the team itself wasn't great. I mean, also look at it this way. How much of a threat were they really in the finals?
Well, I'll put it this way. Well, here's the thing. So in 1998, when they had home court advantage, I thought that they had a chance to beat the Bulls. And then in game 2, I want to say it was, if that's game 1, but I'm pretty sure it's game 2, when they scored 54 points at home, I knew they had no chance to beat this team.
You feel me? So it's like, as Bulls fans, a lot of us like to pretend. I'm not going to even front, even me. I like this because I like the drama of it. So I like to pretend they were a lot harder than they really were to defeat. But it was just like, look at what Mike did just that final game, just in the last couple of minutes. Like, he was just like, man, y'all ain't nothing. I got this.
Hey, I'll be honest with you, and especially that final game, Mike played like shit overall, really. Only 42%, took a lot of shots and all that. Scottie Pippen had a bad back and wasn't even playing, and they lost. Like, he was out there, but he couldn't do anything. So that's what I'm saying. They were out there playing 4-on-5. They didn't even recognize it. I'm not about to say they're a great team. And I'm just saying, like, because I'm sure some people are like, the Celtics are a great team. They're not until they win the chip. I don't care about 6 conference finals in 8 years. I don't care about 2 finals. If you don't win the title, you're not a great team. So if the Celtics are watching this, if you're one of the very few people watching the Celtics, please just know you're not great till you win the title.
Yeah. Yes, it's hard with the Celtics because I do agree they do need to win a title first. I don't feel like any team though that's making it to the conference finals and not getting further than that. I don't think any team is gonna be great. But the Celtics, because they have made it past it, then yeah, they definitely need to get a championship because it'll be all for nothing. You feel me? They might as well have lost all of them other conference finals if they're never gonna win a championship.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. You got any wild predictions for this offseason coming up?
For this off season,
Do you see anything coming? You see anything because season's about to be over.
yeah,
I think next
Coach was
week will be
kinda
our
right,
last
though.
in season one.
I think Coach is right though. There's gonna be some changes to some of these teams. Clippers. Who might the Clippers get rid of? Well, I don't know people's contracts, so it's hard for me to make a prediction based on that. Me not necessarily knowing all the contracts that are up or all of the players that can be moved. But I do agree that teams like Atlanta, I was hearing the murmurs about Trey. You feel me? I was kind of hearing them during the season that they might be thinking about doing something with Trey. I was hearing it about Murray too. I could see somebody in Golden State getting moved, whether it be Clay or Dre. I see one of them possibly being moved.
Well, Draymond's way more valuable for him right now than Clay, so I definitely say it's got to be Clay.
Yeah. Trying to think on the Clippers, who would the Clippers possibly move?
I don't know. If I was the Clippers, because now that Harden plays point and so does Westbrook, I even got Paul George and Kawhi that can play the two as well. I mean, they can also bring up the ball and really play point if you want. Like I said, I'm looking for somebody with more talent and size in the front court. So I'm looking to move one of those 4 perimeter players for somebody that that I can play more as a big. That would be my goal.
They probably get rid of Westbrook, unfortunately.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. If they would take it, and I don't know why they would take it, but it would give more scoring at the point, like you said. I would trade for Towns. I would trade him Harden and Westbrook.
Harden and Westbrook for Towns? Oh no, that would be offensive.
I mean, who else are they going to do? We're going to trade Terrence Mann. We're going to trade Zubac. I mean, like, what are we going to trade?
No. I mean, I feel you. As far as Minnesota, they would definitely want that and probably request that. But I feel as though LA, like, I don't know if Towns is worth getting rid of both of them.
Well, I mean, at the role they play for the Clippers, I think he is worth it. Because, like I said, Westbrook has got what? Couple minutes off the bench, 20 minutes off the bench.
No, I feel that, but that's just for the role. That's because that's the way they're being played. That's not necessarily what their worth is. I still feel as though they're worth more as players than a straight up or for a trade for Towns.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think they are worth more right now. I think they are the 3rd or 4th best players on teams. Really good 3rd or 4th best players, but I think that's their role. I don't think they're going to be the best player by themselves on the playoff team. I think Towns potentially could be the best player on like an 8 seed.
On an 8 seed, you don't think Harden could be the best player on an 8 seed?
No, I don't think Harden's that good anymore. Not that good. Like these last few years, we've seen him fuel off Durant, Embiid, Kawhi. You know what I mean? I think that really is what helps keep Harden going. But Harden has like dramatically fell off from where he was like 5 years ago or whatever. I guess a lot of players have, but
the problem with Towns, though, for me is Towns is also the type of player that can get his team taken from him too. So that's kind of concerning for your best player to be also the type of player that somebody else can come in and just take the team from you. And
yeah, but you look at like someone like Harden and Westbrook. They've been bouncing around the league for the last few years, so I'm not really too concerned about them. Anybody bouncing around the league is not that good.
That's fair.
Can't find a place to stay.
Or that could be a problem. That could be a problem. You feel me? You could be good, but just be a problem personnel-wise.
No, definitely. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro. This was a short finals preview. We just all think the Celtics are gonna kill them, and that there's no hope for the Mavericks. That's our preview.
Yo, you know what though? I need to talk to some Dallas folk. I want to talk to somebody from Dallas and see if they are just a fan and they just standing out, or if they really believe Dallas has a legit chance. Yeah. So Dallas scores 2 volume 3-point shooting. Luka and Kyrie surrounded by shooting. Luka and Kyrie
but it's not enough for Boston. I don't know. Like I said, like Derrick Jones Jr. is shooting out of his mind this year from 3 with 40%. But I'll put it this way. And I don't know what his splits are. Right. But it doesn't matter. He's only scoring 10 points. So what is the most 3-pointers he's hitting in a game? 3? And that's if all his shots are coming from 3. We know it's not. So I'd say he's probably making around 1.5 to a game. Something like that. So I don't know where the volume is. Like I said, they don't have enough volume scoring. Like it reminds me of in an opposite way, like when Barkley the Suns made it to the finals in '93. You know, you had Kevin Johnson who could give you 20 on any night. Dan Marley who could give you 20 on any night. Even Ainge could give you 20 on any night. Richard Dumas could give you 20 on any night. Tom Chambers could give you 20 on any night. And I just don't see that. I just don't see that. With Dallas, I just don't see the consistent scoring, like where they can get it from someone else every night.
Outside of Kyrie and Luka, you're probably gonna. The next is probably gonna be like 15, 18 at the most. Is gonna be the highest average.
Hey, let me tell you this too. We can all agree this because, like, we all know I'm a big numbers guy. We think Kyrie. The eye test says Kyrie is playing amazing, right?
Amazing? I don't know about amazing.
What would you say? Grade him on a 1 to 10 scale. Or grade him. What's good? C? A C grade? C plus?
Are you talking about since like the conference finals, or are you talking about the whole playoffs?
We can do either or, conference finals or the playoffs. Give me both.
I feel as though throughout the playoffs, he's probably like a 7. Conference final, he's probably like a 7.58.
Okay, so you got to maybe. Well, I'm just saying he's only. A lot of people are saying because I think he's playing really effective basketball right now, and it shows with their winning.
Yeah,
he's only averaging 23 a game, and
That's
I'm not
why
saying 23. I'm not saying 23 is bad, but I'm saying if you think Kyrie Irving's playing amazing, 23 a game is not amazing for a Kyrie. You can agree on that.
And I agree, and that's the reason why he's even if 7.5 or 8 is low, that's the reason why he's like that, because Kyrie. He can definitely score more than 23 points. Like, you feel me? I expect Kyrie to be giving us about 26.
See, I'm thinking like when he played well in the finals, I think he was 27.9 or something. Like Kyrie, like for them to beat him, like Kyrie's got to be around 30. Luke's got to be around 35 is what I'm thinking. Servants of Yah Pastor Roka says anytime you have superstars, you have a chance.
That's fair, but the problem with it is
don't the Celtics have one too?
Boston has 2 superstars, you feel me? So that's the problem. And then I don't know what you consider Porzingis, but he's at least an all-star type player. He's an all-star caliber player, which I guess that don't really matter to most people. But at the same,
hey, if we're doing that, Drew Holiday's an all-star caliber player.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like
Al Horford.
Yeah, so that's really the difference. Where it's like, yeah, I give Dallas, they got Luka, they do. They got Kyrie, they do. But then they get canceled out by Tatum and Brown. The problem is Tatum and Brown is coming with White. You don't know what he gonna do. Would you be shocked if White ended up popping it off for like 20 points, like a couple of games out of this series?
He's averaging 18 for the playoffs. Nobody's gonna be saying anything about a 20-point score, a 20-point game from an 18-point score.
You see, and Horford, you already know Horford is gonna make the right plays. He's gonna be in the right place at the right time. Horford might get a game winner at some point out of this series. Like that wouldn't be a shock. So it's just like Boston.
Like I said, I was really impressed on this. I was really impressed with this, and I've said this stat before. But Porzingis at one point late in the season, I don't know if it's still held up, was averaging the most points ever on post-up attempts.
Post-up attempts, see.
Now, do you even think of Porzingis as a post-up player?
No. Like when I think of Porzingis, I mainly think of him as a face-up, spot-up type shooter or type player.
Right. So I'm saying you got all these guys. You got like, yeah,
effectively at that.
Add to the bag
effectively.
All right. When we said, hey, if I told you, who do you think's got the highest in a season points per post-up attempt? How far down would you have to guess Porzingis? How many guesses would you take before you got to Porzingis?
I would have never guessed Porzingis. And that's no offense to him. It's because when I think of Porzingis, like I said, I think of somebody that's going to spot up, somebody that's, facing the basket scoring. So,
hey, not only that, I'll tell you this much. After I started running out of guests, because the first ones are obviously going to be like, Shaq, Kareem, the big post-up guys, even Barkley. I I'll tell you what. Once I started getting out of those, I'd start being like, well, what about Sam Cassell? Because he's the best post-up point guard ever. Well, bro, I know he's the best post-up point guard. He just didn't post up much, but every time he did, it seemed like it was a bucket. So I would have guessed him. I would have guessed point guard Sam Cassell over him.
That's funny.
Peyton was another one. Hey, did you ever see Kevin Garnett's imitation of Gary Payton?
Nah.
Okay, he said, I love G. Watch this. Okay, I'm gonna do the best I can. But he goes, what do he say? Oh, he goes, Gary Payton was masterful. He said, I watched him control the whole game. His team, my team, the ref, his coach, my coach, the guy pass up. So I watched him back down a guard from baseline to baseline talking. Well, I'm tired of hearing you. I don't care. You don't run my mouth. I think it's about not. So anyways, though, back to the point at hand. He said he backed him down from point guard from post to post, and he's like, back him down. Shut your ass up. Hey, bow up twist. You get him up. Hey, you see the hand on the hip when you see it, call it. You know what I mean? Hey, get him in there. You come up. Like he just said he called the whole game. It was amazing.
That sounds about right, because that's exactly what it looked like he was doing out there when you watched him play.
No, right.
He's known as the trash talker. He's known as one of the best. So this is on par.
You know who had me dying was Shaq. He goes, every time I run into Gary Payton, he just immediately starts talking shit. He goes, like he'll come up to me, he's like, hey, big fella, you remember the time I put that thing on you with a little twig, you went up, boy, your arm came out the socket. Shaq said he just go up to people, start talking shit. First thing out of his mouth.
And he tripping for that, because he probably did put that on some people, but GT, how many people that put that thing on you? All the defense you got. You got work too in some of these games, my boy.
Well, not only that, your only ring, like, you know, to come up to Shaq with that, like your only ring is with Shaq being the second best player. And Shaq didn't need you for none of his rings.
Weak.
So to me, that's just crazy.
Effort.
That's crazy. But yeah, hey, if y'all haven't seen that, Google Kevin Garnett, Gary Payton imitation, and please go watch it. Like it's damn good.
They look like brothers, or they used to. They are from that DMX tree.
Hey, you know what's funny? Do you remember when all of them, like, I don't know if Garnett did, but definitely Peyton, Carter, and someone else all grew out their hair for the 2000 Olympics? For the 2000 Olympics?
Hey, I was weak when I seen Carter little mini fro though.
Yeah, that's what I didn't even know Gary Payton could grow hair. Because I remembered he had that real high top fade like in the early 90s before he started shaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had he kind of had like the kid. It wasn't as high, but you know what I mean? It was high. And all that.
Yeah. Funny, though.
So what's up? You got anything else you want to chop it up about?
I mean, you know, like the coach said, the whole Caitlin Clark thing. He tried to talk about that. That's all I've been seeing. Nah, I mean,
hasn't she been struggling?
She's been struggling.
She hasn't been struggling.
She's been struggling. I mean, but it's the adjustment going from college to the league and everything like that, and then they own her. Like they're taking her out the game mentally. So
not when you're the GOAT, Diana Taurasi. You just come in blazing.
Yeah, Diana Taurasi. She didn't age, and she is.
Mm.
But who knows? You feel me? How long is she gonna have that? You know, that claim.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm about to go back to my room after this. I'm gonna do a deep dive on some stats. I've been working in deep things. Because like I'm out here. Yeah, I'm out here trying to prove people like it's crazy to me that people don't have Wilt Chamberlain or Bill Russell in their top 10.
You said people don't?
Oh, all the time. Like I had some dude today talking shit to me like, how could Wilt Chamberlain be nobody with 2 rings should be in your top 10?
So that's all you know about Wilt Chamberlain, or?
That's why I want to ask you, because like I know you're a guy that you don't put a lot into the numbers, but you respect the numbers or whatever. You're more of an eye test guy. What I'm trying to ask you is, how great do the numbers have to be to where you're like, this is too many numbers for them to be bullshit? Would you say Wilt Chamberlain hit that number mark?
Well, I was about to definitely say Wilt Chamberlain. He took the words out of my mouth. Like, that's why I said, is that all you know about Wilt Chamberlain? Is the 2 rings? Like, just Wilt Chamberlain is what, in the top like 15 of everything? Well, not everything, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah. Well, he probably would be, like, if he would have known about like assists, steals, blocks. You know what I mean? Like, probably would have been even more.
Yeah.
Because he went out and got what he wanted.
That's what I was gonna say. Wilt Chamberlain was a different kind of dominant player. Not every player can just every player in their mind can feel as though, you know what, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, and then practice or try to train themselves to be able to do those things. Yes, Wilt physically could go out there and do X, Y, Z on any given night if he chose to. Every player can just decide, I'm gonna score 50 points tonight, and then do that for a season.
Did I tell you the Magic Johnson Wilt Chamberlain story?
Maybe. Which one?
Okay, so this is after Wilt Chamberlain had been retired for a while. You know what I mean? Years, 5 or 10 years or something like that. Anyway, so it was Larry Brown was there, and it was Magic Johnson, Bernard King, James Worthy, AC Green, and one other NBA player, and I forget who it was. I think it was Byron Scott. They played against Wilt Chamberlain and 4 college kids. Magic called goal on the end of the game, so they ran it back, and Wilt didn't let him score.
Yep, exactly. Case in point, that's Magic Johnson. You feel me?
Not only that, Hall of Famer Bernard King, Hall of Famer James Worthy, NBA All-Star AC Green, and 20-point a game score Byron Scott. So it's like they could all play in the NBA, right?
All good players in the NBA at that, not just making it. They're all good players in the league. Exactly. Wilt. So basically, Wilt, and you said some high school, college kids?
College kids against NBA players, and Wilt had been retired for 5 or 10 years at this point.
Okay. So an ex-player going up against current players with some players that have yet to make it to the league, and he was able to shut them down.
Not only that, he was between like 43 and like 48 or something.
And all these NBA players is in their 20s.
Yeah, about that. Maybe one was in their 30s or something. Yeah, but about that.
Interesting. Sounds about right, though. That's Wilt. So, yeah, put some more respect on his name and ranking.
Let's go 0 to 200 really quick.
Finish, please don't make me laugh with that half-ass gimmick. I'm about to get mine and it's about time. Call us Grindhouse, everybody in a house grind. I'm just doing me, I ain't trying to outshine. Trying to kill my vibe is how you get outlined. I don't do it for the views and the likes, boy. I'm just giving you what I wrote last night, boy. I don't care if it isn't what you like, boy. My flow is fucking awesome, ain't it, white boy?
It is, B-Dot. So I'm Tony Styles. He's unique. That's some girl that's complaining behind me. So anyway, so we'll check you all next week.
Hit her up on Twitter.
Yeah, hit her up on Twitter, the gram. No, I think it's X now.
X.
Yeah. All right, then. We out.
All right, y'all.